Yo, Saf, back once again, same as you. Appreciate you for being here. It's the Talk and Play Blurredcast. If you read the title, then you already know what time it is. It's Insecure Time. We are talking episode 5 entitled Surviving Okay. And I'm going to let you know right now, I did not like the ending. I'm going to let you know right now, I was not fucking with the ending for my own specific reasons. But we'll get into it after I play my theme music and we bust down this episode real quick. So let me get that out the way and then we'll start the episode. Let's go. So, episode 5, Surviving Okay. Now, this episode in particular is more Molly focused than anything. We also got some Nathan and Issa focus as well, but the bulk of the story kind of centers around Molly, right? So, opening scene, we see her riding face. Like, Molly was riding the face of this nigga that cannot spell her name for whatever reason. And in the process of her reaching her peaks and descending back into her valleys, she get a text message from some family about her mom, and then Insecure rolls its opening credits and all that stuff. Opening song is Interstellar by artist Monte Booker. Okay. She love me, love me, fuck me, good. She's not all good. She lick on. I fuck with that song. Y'all know I love the music on Insecure. They do a phenomenal job at curating their what do they call it? Playlist, or what do they call it? Their soundtrack. And yeah, I guess soundtrack is the right word because it's not a movie score because it's a television show. So the background music, I don't know. They do a good job with it. But we come up to the hospital and Molly's brother is feeling bad. He told her mom that, or their mom, because that's her brother, told their mom that her stuffing wasn't the best she's made. That made me laugh out loud because I get it. Sometimes people are in situations where you could lose them. You start thinking about all the shit you said wrong. And it's just funny because stuffing nigga, but whatever. The doctor brought them to the wrong patient, and they had me fooled for a second because I thought, oh no, Molly's mom done passed away. Like, we got right to the gut punch. Like, she's gone. But then I saw the look on these niggas' faces, and her dad was like, you think this lady is old enough to be my contemporary, nigga? Like, what the fuck do you think we do over here? Or young enough, I should say, because that lady was, yeah, she looked like it was her time. No disrespect, and that might be a little fucked up of me to say, but that's great grandma status right there. That's great. Like, she ready to go back to the ancestors. Take her to the king. And that's what the doctor said was about to happen. Luckily, that is not Molly's mom. Molly's mom is in stable condition. She just, obviously taking a nap after, resting. We eventually find out that a stroke is what put her in the hospital. Dad is having a hard time handling shit. So Molly steps up, which, I've been there before. Sometimes in people's time of grief, other family members might be taking it worse than you are. So you kind of feel like, you know what, being that I'm the one that is holding it together, let me, hold it together even more by doing what I can to aid the nurses and the doctors in making sure my mama is okay. And I felt that. I'm glad Molly stepped up in that regards. But Molly dealing with her mom and the entire situation happening is pretty much the focal point of her story, which is dope because we get to see Molly in a sense of vulnerability that is not revolved around her. Like, I'm saying that because normally anytime Molly's in disarray or whatever, it's usually something, relationship wise, Issa wise, work wise. But here, this is my motherfucking mama. Like, this the person that, put me on this planet or whatever. Like, losing her would crush her. She says in a scene later on down the line that, Issa and Tiffany and Kelly are all she has outside of her family, all this other stuff. So it was dope just seeing Molly get to a place of vulnerability that was not necessarily focused on her and the decision that she made to put herself in those situations. This is literally, my mom had some fucked up shit happening, and I'm here trying to deal as best as I can while still being Molly. And I fuck with that. On the other hand, though, you got Issa and Nathan. They at the house, booed up. My dog came out. His box of Breeze gave Issa some coffee. They in their negligee, enjoying coffee in the bed. Issa's trying to cancel plans on Molly so they can stay together longer. But of course, Issa calls Molly. Her talking about what you do, reading the book with your reading ass. That was funny to me. I don't know Issa, bro. She low key a comedian, bro. I wouldn't mind seeing an Issa Rae stand up. If she gonna have this awkwardness, this corny joke shit, I would definitely fuck with an Issa Rae stand up. But I know she's not a stand up comedian. She's just funny to me, and I like those like real jokes. That's a joke I would make with my friend. What the fuck you doing with your extra something ass? You know what I'm saying? Like, those are friend jokes. But of course, Molly delivers the news that cracks Issa's face, and Nathan ends up taking her to the hospital. And I appreciated that scene with them in the car where they was like talking. Nathan was being attentive and supportive, and just let her know, like, listen, you don't have to make any decisions right away or whatever. Just if you need me, call me. I don't mind. I'll swing back through. It is what it is. Just let me know, and I'm here for you, whatever. I appreciate stuff like that. Not saying Lawrence wouldn't have been as attentive and supportive. Like, he been around long enough that we've seen, him be supportive towards Issa and things like that. But I'm saying it's nice to see, this from Nathan, because I know they trying to take things slow and all kind of shit like that. And I understand, they have not a complicated history, but history that might not necessarily lend towards positivity. I don't know. You remember he ghosted her, and Issa chose Lawrence over him. Like, they got a little thing going. But I'm glad that he's being supportive and stepping up as a quote unquote boyfriend, even though this part of the episode we haven't quite gotten to that. But I like it because, yeah, I feel like I want Issa and Nathan to just be a thing. But we'll see towards the end why that could be in jeopardy. Moving forward, Molly's aunt saying that her cough could be cancer, or checking to see if her cough is cancer. That was funny. I don't know what it is with black people when we get to hospitals or whatever. We try to pick the doctors and nurses' brains about, minor symptoms we have, and to see if it could be more. But it was happening, and I appreciate that. I also appreciated in this scene Issa being there for Molly. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a friend, just asking her if she's hungry or tired. Eventually, they settled on, going to get some clothes or whatever. But I really like all of that whole conversation. Issa being attentive to Molly, Issa showing up to the hospital for Molly, because we haven't really seen Issa show up for Molly that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, either of them, honestly. Like, this season in particular, like, once they ironed out whatever issue they had with at the school, following, their fallout in season 4, we've been seeing them, be really tight as friends and really show up for each other and be supportive. And I fuck with it. Like, I feel like this is the most we've seen them be friends since the goddamn show started. But that's just good writing. They trade clothes, which we find out they both fucked in both of their outfits. Somebody complimented Issa on the way out. That shit was funny to me because Issa's face cracked when that doctor said that person was just high. And she didn't have to say that, if you asking me. She didn't have to tell Issa, oh, don't, never mind that compliment, because Issa did look good in Molly's little going out outfit. She got to tell her that patient was high and just probably looking at things in HD. Like, Issa was looking good. Let the compliment ride. But of course, hating ass Karen. I'll say that. Anyway, Issa ended up sending a loving voicemail to her mom. Nathan called his mom too. That was relatable. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is with black people. Anytime something tragic happens close to home or whatever, we get real close to home. Like, we call people, text, y'all good, checking on your X, Y, Z. But I'm glad that does happen, because we do need to keep in better contact with our loved ones or whatever, so that when shit like this does happen, we're not pressed to like, where are you? Where you at? What you doing? You good? I'm checking on you. This happened. It made me think about you, X, Y, Z. But like I said, relatable, and I'm glad that they're showing it in the show. But yeah, Issa and Nathan, not Molly. Issa and Nathan end up going to Molly's house to grab her some clothes, and Nathan being the aware person that he is, because Issa did not give a fuck about Flavor Flav, right? Like, she was like looking like, oh yeah, the dog, she loved that motherfucker. What about these outfits though? Right? Nathan was definitely like, nigga, we need to take the dog out, give it some food. Like, you supposed to be a friend, nigga. Be a full friend. Don't just, put on the full clothes and go take them shits to Molly. Like, come on now. And that ended up being good, as we'll see later in that episode. But we ended up going back to the hospital after that scene where Molly was eating, I guess, some kind of hospital food lunch with her family or whatever, and somebody called her aunt and was like, oh, she want to do an over the phone prayer. I'm so glad Molly shut down that over the phone ass prayer. I hate when people do that. You're going through something, you're trying to piece together the information that you have so that you know how to move accordingly, and somebody want to stop and pray and have this moment with God and stuff like that. Like, I get it, and it's cool, it's understandable, I understand. But this is not the time. I'm sorry, it's just not. I know we dealing with X, Y, and Z, and that might have brought you a little closer to God because death and life and all this other shit. But you praying over the phone and wanting to have these prayer circles in mama's in her hospital room, like, this is not the time. She asked, her aunt asked if the lady could just text a prayer or whatever. And that was funny to me, because what the fuck? Who does text message prayers? But I felt Molly in that scene also when she was about to snap on her parents for their estate planning, because look where we at. This is why you need to have this shit organized. You know what I'm saying? We find out later that this is the second stroke that moms had. Y'all should have been. When I was pressing, or when Molly was pressing, I feel like I'm Molly now. When Molly was pressing them about this shit, they should have been took care of that. Especially if they already knew that her mom was at a higher risk for something happening because she had a stroke before. But, people gonna do what they want to do. They're gonna take their time. What I wasn't fucking with, though, was when Torian, I believe that's Molly's boss name, when Torian called her or whatever about her portion of the work assignment that they're working on at work, their presentation, like, she should have let that shit go. I know Molly's really into her work and she wants to be, super successful, and I appreciate all of that. I like a hardworking, successful woman, not just a woman, but individuals, period. I like when people want their work to reflect just how amazing they are as, human beings. But this is not the time for you to be taking on more than you can handle. When Torian said, oh, this person is still available to do your portion of the assignment. You just need to let me know ahead of time. I was like, okay, cool. So he get it. I didn't sense any, I'm going to hold this against her because she's having a personal moment and she's neglecting work. Like, he took her off a speakerphone. He got on that phone, you know what I'm saying, on a personal level and was like, listen, if you need time to deal with what you're dealing with, just let me know ahead of time. This person is still available to work on it. And Molly, nah, I got it. I do it. I'm like, bruh, you can't, bruh. Like, you literally cannot. You are at the hospital trying to tend to your sick mom. You got your best friend going to get clothes for you, but you ain't say nothing about grabbing anything for work so that you can actually do this assignment that you talking about you're going to have done in time. I don't know. I feel like that's going to fuck her up in the future, but we'll get there when I get to my predictions for the upcoming rest of the season. I took notice, though, of the scenery of the city that they incorporated in this episode. Like, in that scene right when you start to see Issa and Nathan walking Flavor Flav, like, they do a really good job at showcasing the beauty of LA and just the cultural references and the cultural impact that Black people have had on that city, because those scenes that they had in there, those shots, those shits was fire. But in us watching Issa and Nathan walk Flav, we get a call from Issa's mom. Wendy Raquel Robinson is back again. I love that lady. She's funny as fuck to me. And she's just a great actress. Like, I'm really, really, really happy that they chose her to play Issa's mom. We saw her in previous seasons as well. Like, they always spot on what they like guest casting or whatever. Because if you remember, we saw Kiki in the episode, Kiki Palmer that is, in the episode with Lawrence and Condola and the baby and all of that. Spot on. They've even had Kyla LaPratt on here. Kyla was on season 3, I believe. I forget, but that's beside the point. Wendy Raquel Robinson back playing Issa's mom. She calls. They chit-chatting or whatever. She let Issa know, I really appreciate the love and voicemail. So what you got going on for the next couple Sundays? Because we do need to hang. She asked about who Issa is talking to. Nathan jumped in the camera like, yeah, it's me. I'm the boyfriend. After she asked, like, are you my daughter's boyfriend? This nigga talking about, yes. And I fuck with that, because if you intent now on being the boyfriend, then claim that shit, no matter who it is. Y'all already decided last episode you don't want to be friends with her and she don't want to just be friends with you. So y'all are together. Glad he said yes. Issa's mom talking about Nathan all Steph Curry with it, though. That was funny. A light-skinned joke, obviously. But that shit was funny. And her mom asking for his number in case Issa don't answer. That's relatable as fuck. You would be surprised to know how many mothers have my fucking phone number just so that they could use me to get in contact with their daughters should their daughters not respond in a timely manner. It's relatable as fuck. I don't know why moms feel so comfortable asking their daughters, boyfriends, or whatever the case might be for that kind of information, but it happens and I understand. But Issa saying her mom, after, they hung up, saying that her mom's been all over the place since the divorce and she kind of needs to figure herself out, is literally the pot calling the kettle black, because Issa has been all over the place since her and Lawrence broke up, and she also needs to figure her shit out. Nathan definitely made sure to acknowledge that, and I'm so glad he did. That is also another sign for me that he is going to be a great boyfriend for Issa. You can call her on her shit and she not take it no kind of way, or you can at least joke about it, but in a serious manner. That's good communication skills, in my opinion, because that could have went another way. You making comments like that, she could have took that shit offensively and be like, what you trying to say? It could have been an argument, all this other shit, just because I made a little joke that got a lot of truth in it. So shout out to them for having that moment and it staying a positive one because Flav dipped right after that. Like we saw this nigga shed off the leash or slide off the leash, and by the time Issa and fucking Nathan realized that Flavor Flav was nowhere in sight. We go back to the hospital though. Molly is Web MDing all kind of shit. We've been there before. Relatable. Been on WebMD trying to diagnose ourselves. They shit telling us we about to die. The doctor is like, nigga, take an aspirin and go to bed. But I definitely resonated with that because I'm quick to WebMD some shit or just Google it and take WebMD's advice when it pop up sometimes. But the brother is also acting an ass because he is whispering into his mom's ear as she is trying to recuperate that all she needed was maybe a little bit more paprika in the stuffing for it to be fired. But that's beside the point. Just something funny. Remember, this is a comedy show, a dramedy. It's a dramedy. I'll say that. So as much as we like to talk about the drama, it's also important to point out the funny because that is another aspect of this show that they want y'all to understand. They some funny motherfuckers, and they are. But the nurse reveals to Molly and the rest of the family, apparently, because the only person that knew about this was Dad, which is that her mom had a stroke before, and understandably, Molly snaps like, how am I supposed to help y'all if y'all keep acting like everything is okay? But then at the same time, that is also the kettle calling the pot black or the pot calling the kettle black, however the fuck the saying goes, because we just saw you tell your boss that you were going to be able to make good on an assignment that you had before this happened, knowing damn well that you are stressed out about your mom and could definitely and definitely needs to pass that assignment off to the person that he recommended. So how is people in your life supposed to help you if you are acting like everything is okay? Molly, call Torian back and tell this nigga you are going to give the assignment to the other person because you're dealing with too much. If you're listening to this. Moving on though. Nathan and Issa, because we back on them, they getting to know each other more. Nathan smartly pointed out that, Flav might just retrace his steps, his route and all this stuff. He might just show up at the doorstep. Dogs do that. And that's true. I have dogs. My neighbors have dogs. Whenever them motherfuckers, figure out a way to get free in a way that they're not supposed to be, like they end up coming back. They end up finding their way back, not on some lost shit or whatever, but they either don't go too far or they will meet your ass at the door. But in that same, explanation, Nathan also shares a story about his dad, saying if somebody fuck with you, I'ma fuck with you, whatever. And I really want us to stop doing that. That is a generational trauma that we are continuing to pass throughout our culture of, if anybody fuck with you, or if you let anybody beat you up, I'm gonna beat you up 10 times worse. And I was like, that's abuse, first of all. We don't need to be scaring our kids like that in implementing or imposing that level of aggression and just violence on them simply because they had a run-in with other people that didn't go their way. Like, we gotta chill with all that. But we back at the hospital. The doctor tells Molly her mom could possibly be paralyzed after this stroke. And I was like, oh my God, bro, that's crazy. I couldn't imagine, bro. My heart was fucking up. Like, I was like, damn, Molly, bro, this is a lot. But then she turns around and takes on the responsibility of telling the family. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Why? Like, this shit is difficult. You damn near dropped your phone when the man said that. Like, why won't you let this nigga do his job and inform your family from a medical standpoint? He's a professional. He can articulate this shit exactly how it needs to be articulated so that they understand the medical ramifications of your mom having a stroke. I'll handle it. Why? Let the doctor do his job. But we slide back over to Issa and Nathan. Flav has returned, as Nathan would. Issa tells Nathan that she loves him because he's patient with her. Now, I did catch that this is the first time Issa has told this nigga, I love you. And I did also catch that he did not say anything about love in return and loving her. But they did make, little heart eyes at each other. They kissed and all this other shit. So I don't feel like that's necessarily a red flag, but it is something that I would continue to pay attention to. And the only reason I'm saying it's not a red flag is because earlier in the episode, Issa made mention that, we both agreed that we're going to take this slow or whatever. So Nathan might just be doing just that. Like, okay, she said the love word. I ain't going to shy away from it. I'm not scared or whatever. I'm going to look at my lady, with the loving eyes and give her a kiss or whatever. But we're taking things slow, so I'm going to ease on that. That's fair to me. But definitely something to keep in the back of your mind. We back at the hospital though. Molly's beating herself up about her mom's situation. You know what I'm saying? She's thinking she's failing her mom. Issa is again being a good friend, reassuring Molly that, you know what I'm saying, you dope as fuck. Like, you're not failing your mom just because you don't have a husband and the kids yet. Like, you're accomplished in so many other ways. Like, don't even trip about that. But this is also the scene where Molly was telling Issa, like, their friend group is all she got or whatever. And, I felt that. That's real. On the other hand, when Issa got up and was walking away to go get her coffee or whatever, I caught that. Molly was like, I ain't gonna never get that outfit back. And Issa talking about, yeah, you already know. Like, I don't, I'm a man, so I don't share my clothes with my dogs or whatever. I guess I don't know if that would be like I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Because if my nigga needed a shirt, I would give my nigga a shirt. I wouldn't feel no kind of way about looking out for my dog. But men don't tend to share clothes. But it's funny because I know women definitely do that shit. And the fact that Issa is literally stealing Molly's outfit right in her face. That shit was funny. I don't even know if Molly even got the clothes that Issa brought for her to change out of the clothes that Issa said she had just fucked in. Like, I don't even know if that clothes exchange happened. I'm pretty sure it did. But I don't know. That was funny to me. But Molly ends up taking a beat, to reflect. She lays on her mom. And I'm like, man, yeah, she going through it, which is exactly why she need to call Torian back and tell him ahead of time. Like he said, just let me know ahead of time and I can get the other girl to do it. That's why she need to call him back, because she's stressing out about her mom and she's in a bad place, like mentally and emotionally. As you could tell, like, she trying to be strong, but it's tough. So we'll see how that plays out in future episodes. I'm hoping Molly is resourceful enough to figure out a way to get her job done so Torian don't trip. But then at the same time, I just have a feeling like this is going to fuck things up simply because he told her, let me know ahead of time and I can get somebody to do it. It's okay. And Molly still turned around and was like, nah, I got it. So we'll see. But while grabbing coffee, and this is the part of the show that I did not like. I'm being real about this. While grabbing coffee, Issa spots Lawrence and Condola and their baby having a doctor's visit. And she decides she wants to creep a little bit and see how the baby looks, see if Lawrence and Condola are playing house together and raising their kid and shit. But while she's doing that, Lawrence sees her. They lock eyes for a second. My motherfucking fist balled up like the goddamn Arthur meme, because I was like, I don't want these niggas to fuck everything up. We just had such amazing growth on both sides. Like, with Lawrence stepping up to be a father, like, he's in LA in the middle of the week having a doctor's visit, which leads me to believe that he came back to LA to be an active father. Him and Condola seem to be on way better terms. Like, Issa and Nathan just had these amazing moments and baby steps of their relationships and all that shit like that. Like, I don't think this is a good thing that Lawrence is looking at Issa and Issa's looking at Lawrence. But Issa walks off, awkwardly, as the awkward black girl does. But she stops to like contemplate, and then they pan the camera back over to Lawrence, confused faced ass, and he is also looking like he wants to step away from his child and baby mama once again to have some kind of dialogue with Issa. I'm just like, y'all could just not and just go y'all separate ways and let that shit be what it is. Like, that last scene, that shit infuriated the fuck out of me, because I'm like, bro, we just did so much good work with both of these characters individually. Why do y'all want to bring these motherfuckers back together to fuck it up? And I'm more so speaking about Issa and Nathan, because I feel like if Lawrence come back into the picture somehow and they start fucking things up or whatever, we might not see Nathan again, because he already had to deal with competing with Lawrence for Issa's attention earlier in the show. And then she cried in the man's mouth or 2 episodes ago about this nigga. Like, I don't want it to happen, but it's good writing, I guess. But yeah, we see Issa contemplating and we see Lawrence contemplating. They have not interacted with each other. They just saw each other and decided to stay away, I guess. I don't know. The episode ends. We'll see. The show closes to the song Wu Chow by what's his name? Dayburger, featuring TT the artist. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it looks like Day. I know Dai. Anyway, Dayburger, TT the artist, Wu Cha, and obviously that's exactly what I'm saying, because what the fuck? But yeah, that's our episode. Final thoughts on it. I like the episode, obviously, not the end with this whole Lawrence and Issa shit, but I appreciated the growth Issa and Nathan had with their relationship. You know what I'm saying? Mom knows, Wendy Raquel knows, like, oh, that's the boyfriend. Yeah. So we solidified, Issa and Nathan are definitely a thing. They spending the night at each other's house, coffee in the morning. Shout out to Miguel. I think this could be great for them. I want them to keep going. But now that Lawrence has reared his face, we'll see. I also like that we got to see Issa being a really good friend to Molly. Like I said earlier in this review, we haven't really seen that much of that from either side, Molly or Issa. But, given the fact that Issa or Molly realized her fault with Issa in the fallout in season 4, she's been way more attentive at trying to be a good friend. Very successful. I could even stretch and say Molly might be a big part of the reason that Issa and Nathan are rocking the way that they rocking, because she helped clear that Risha shit up quickly last episode and left Issa with some questions that she definitely needed to answer if she was going to move forward with Nathan. Now we move forward. Nathan's there. Issa's there. Everything's great. So, I don't know. I fuck with this episode. Don't want Lawrence and Issa to talk, but I know they fucking will. So, prediction-wise, I feel like Lawrence moved back to LA so he could be a dad. So, obviously, the potential of him and Issa running into each other again is very, very high, especially if, people like Tiffany are comfortable with inviting them to their child's birthday party and stuff. Like, it's only inevitable that they're gonna run into each other again. I feel like that's gonna complicate things between Issa and Nathan, which, like I said, don't want it to happen. I'm shaking my head, ready to throw something, because what the fuck? We starting to get happy endings for all of these characters, but y'all throwing this one last stupid ass wrench in there by the name of Lawrence. I fuck with Lawrence. I don't hate Lawrence, but we've done so much growing, both of us. Lawrence, me, Issa, Nathan, like everybody's growing. Molly, everybody's growing. I don't want them backtracking on this shit. Speaking of Molly, like I said, I think she's gonna have an issue at work. Like I said, Torian gave her an out when it came to that assignment. And it wasn't a malicious out either. It was literally like, okay, you say you're handling some personal stuff. It's so personal. You don't want to just tell me what the fuck going on over the phone. So look, I got somebody else that could do it. If you cannot, just let me know ahead of time. But of course, Molly, oh no, I got it. I'm going to take on more responsibility. I'm going to take on more work and work myself to death to keep, from dealing with the fact that things are happening around me that I don't necessarily like. So we'll see. I think that's going to backfire on her though. And predictions for next episode, I don't think next episode we're going to even get to see Issa and Lawrence talk. I don't think we're going to pick up next episode with Lawrence and Issa being in the corner of the hallway and having a quick conversation. Nothing like that. I think next episode will be focused on either Lawrence again and get his perspective on everything leading up to, I just saw Issa in the hallway, whatever. Like maybe we'll see Lawrence move back and him and Condola parent well and maybe even get in a relationship or whatever. Or the next episode is going to be about Kelly and Tiffany and Derek. Because I feel like that side of the Insecure story still has a lot of, wrapping up to do. There's a lot of potential for more storytelling when it comes to Kelly and Tiffany and their friendship and them as individuals and, Derek, because he's also a male on this show that's pretty regularly occurring that we don't get to dive into as much. We got to see some of, Derek when it came to Tiffany being postpartum and, running away and all this other shit. But like, he's still a character on the show that has a not so deep backstory that they have potential there to write out. So I think, either the next episode is going to be focused on Lawrence and his transition from San Diego to LA or back to LA and being a father and trying to work things out with Condola. Either they're going to be in a relationship or it's just baby mama, baby daddy, co-parenting thing. Or like I said, Kelly, Tiffany, Derek, their whole side of the Insecure storyline. And that'll be dope too, because I really like Kelly. She's funny as fuck. Tiffany is also funny in her own right. And that whole dynamic, Kelly, Tiffany, Derek, we got to see at the baby's birthday party. Like, it's some comedy there that could really be executed well if they just put a little bit of time into, panning out those stories over there. So we'll see. But that is it for this review. I guess we'll see if my predictions come through later on throughout the season. Until then, you can catch me live tweeting episodes of Insecure on my Twitter page. That's at BrianSapph, Brian Saff. And man, come holler at me, talk to me. You know what I'm saying? I like discussing this show, black shit. Haven't seen any white characters this season. Have I not? I don't recall. But oh yes, the people that did the show or paid for the show for Crenshaw and Issa. But outside of that, you know what I'm saying? I really like covering this show and dealing with the things that our community has to deal with that they decide to portray in this show. Like, dope show. I'm on the Twitter talking about it. Instagram is the same. BrianSapph. If you want to, see whatever I'll be posting over there, more than welcome. But yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all on the review for episode 6. We halfway through. This is gonna be a 10 episode season. Episode 5 is in the books. Moving on to episode 6. So we finna turn up now. But that is it for this Talk and Play Blurcast episode. This Insecure season 5, episode 5. It's episode 5 review. I'll catch y'all on the next one.
Woo chow, or woo chile. And the same rules apply no matter how the fuck you say. So take your capping ass, your acting ass, and please don't even play with me. Cause I'm with the shits, might take it, bitch, and now we both slaying. Oh.